Can I go to the lightning round?
Yes,
Okay, you ready?
sure.
What is your favorite trait of your husband and why?
Ooh, that's great. The favorite trait of my husband is enthusiastic curiosity.
Yeah.
He's a book collector and bookseller and an editor and did journalism, and he's just profoundly excited and curious about the world, and I love that. I love it's you don't get to be married for more than 30 years unless that other person is still interested in the world, or you will just start stabbing each other. So it's great that he's that he's as curious and enthusiastic. When I sometimes become less curious and less enthusiastic, it's a great quality to have in a partner.
Um, Please name three books you read again and again and why.
Ooh, that is great. One book I read, there's some smart books and some less smart books. The smart book, one smart book that I read again and again is Hannah Arendt's The Human Condition. That book continually opens up things around, yeah, I think it tells us so much about the nature of the political, the ongoingness of the political. It's a way of understanding how we are both the natality of us, the fact that no one is like anyone else who has ever lived and existed, which is a deeply non-eliminationist insight about human beings. And it also takes collectives. It also can, it because of its understanding of the political and power, it always thinks of us as collectively engaged. It always imagines that the possibility of building something is collective. It happens, it's relational. It only happens between people. And so it refuses the individual collective debate. It makes us think better and deeper. So that book is always something I love. I forever reread the Anne of Green Gables books. I started reading them in grad school because a friend of mine told me I reread a lot of children's literature
Interesting.
because a friend of mine in grad school, we were all reading, like we were all trying to figure out Hegel, and we were reading, and our brains were falling out of our heads. And my friend said, "You know what I've been rereading?" And I was like, "What?" And so I went back and read them, and like lots of children's books from my childhood, and these are really early books. Anne of Green Gables, like 1908 or something. Not some good stuff, some messed up cult of true womanhood stuff going on in that series, but also just an enormous pleasure to experience that world. I find often the descriptions of Nova Scotia so appealing. Prince Edward Island. We went there 2 summers ago because I was finally like, I need to go see it, and I got to walk on the red beaches, and it was awesome. But so children's fiction is my reread over and over again. Um, and I guess third and fourth might be. Well, now that I've become a big Marilyn Robinson fan, I can't stop rereading Gilead. I go back to that text. I love Marilyn Robinson. I've just become a massive fan, and I find the yeah, there's just a deep in this moment of the world. Robinson's decency and insights are I just can't think of anybody who's thinking and who's even the affect of the way the books move you could not be more moving. So those are my three.
I love
That
it.
took a long
Thank
time.
you.
Sorry.
No, no, it's not at all. I mean, that's the one nice thing about this particular round is like you can ask, I try to ask weird questions, but the answers are usually surprising. And I love that because it's not that the discussion before, but it like exists in a certain realm. And then
Yeah.
there's like these other pieces of who you are, which I
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
learning about.
Mhm.
What was the last thing you bought yourself just because you liked it that served no purpose?
Oh, wow. Oh, I went on Etsy and I bought this. It's one of those things that it's not, you don't light a candle, you melt the candle wax in, those candle melts, because I just liked the little teardrop shape and I liked how it looked and I wanted good smells as I was writing. I have this like altar where I write. I have like this very little Chicana altar thing that has a lot of little bits and pieces of things I liked. And I decided that it really needed to like not only look pretty, but it needed to smell really good. So, and I can't even tell you how many hours I was on Etsy looking. There are a lot of candle melts or whatever they call those things. There are like thousands, and I considered many. I considered many, 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 and I'm really happy with the one I got.
But also, like, it has a very specific purpose, right? It's not like you could just dump something in there. You're like, hope it works out. It's got to have that intent, right? So I get it. I get how that can be like a real suck. Did the thing you get end up being what you wanted?
It was. And then I had, but I still am struggling with the thing of when you have to pick a smell. So I had to go buy candle melts then too.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I knew one I wanted. One
Okay.
scent. We were staying at a friend's house and I walked in and their house smelled so good that
Right.
I called him and I was like, "What did you and your husband buy? Because it smells so good." And so I bought these candle melts for that. But now I have other smells too. And I don't know how to get the other one out because it's like the candle melts made of ceramic, and what's in
Right.
there is now kind of, it's like
Yeah.
it feels very permanent. So I need strategy. So if anybody on your podcast knows how to get one candle melt out
I
of,
can suggest any kind of vessel, put hot water in it up to like the neck, put it in the vessel, let it get hot, then put a knife around it, and it should pop out.
okay, this is my question. Do I scrape it out or do I ease it out? Like what do
I
I,
would ease.
hot
Well,
or
you're
cold?
melting it down, so it kind of doesn't matter. Like if you fuck it up, no
Right,
one's gonna care.
right. I just don't want
Yeah.
something to smell like, whiskey and smoke and roses or something. It's going to
No,
be
no.
really
But
crazy.
warm up the outside first in just rolling hot water, then put it in so that it has time to adjust and doesn't. Well, I guess if it cracks, it wouldn't be in the underworld anyways. But we can do this.
It ended up
We can
costing
get
like
done.
20 something dollars. So if worst comes to worst, if I
Get another one.
if I have to do this again, I'm willing. So,
Okay, final question. What celebrated person would you love to meet and why?
ooh, that's always that is one of those questions like who's the person you'd love to meet and why um, is such a
But I picked celebrated, not famous.
oh,
So
celebrated.
someone with a positive value to you. Because there's
Yes.
plenty of people I'd love to meet that I do not feel positively about.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I do not need to talk to Mussolini. He he had aesthetics. I don't care. I think of um, people who have passed. It probably feels. I mean, I feel like someone like Ella Baker. I've been thinking about her a lot lately. I was very lucky that I got to take a class in college at Santa Cruz with Gloria Anzaldúa,
Mhm.
and it blew my mind and was an amazing course. And but I was just a little dorky undergrad who never spoke to her. Thanks, great class. I would love to sit and have a real conversation with her. But there's two people am I allowed to say more? There's other people.
Of course.
The
Yes,
other two
please.
people I want to spend more time with, and I just need to. They're older now and don't travel as much. But as I'm doing research in the conclusion of my book, I want to have coffee with Tomás Ibarra Frausto and Amalia Mesa Baines, who are both writers. Amalia Mesa Baines is a scholar is an artist and scholar and curator. Tomás is a writer and scholar of aesthetics, and that's one of my it's an ongoing goal is I really want to talk with them, but I mean I have to get to where they are. And do that. So there are people who are still here in the world doing amazing work, and I want to meet up with them and talk with them. But I think if it's somebody who's no longer with us, Ella Baker and Gloria are the two that I would love to pick their brains about alternative futurities.
I love it. And again, I do think the new book is about what specifically?
The new book is called after the colon is still up in the air, but it's called Latinos and Other Uncertainties.
Okay.
Colon, desire, politics of the multiracial
I
life.
knew desire or pleasure was going to be in there. I don't know which one, but I knew one of them would be in there.
Those are the words I need in this moment. So those are my words. But
Yes.
so it's a series of essays, some revised from previous iterations, most of them new. And I'm just trying to think of they're all different explorations of different ways we imagine how we identify with each other, we create collectives, and how people. But the kind of thread of it is how communities, particularly Latinos, can get pulled into conservative assemblages, conservative orientations. It's not trying to answer the question of
I
Latino
understand.
conservatives. It's not a comprehensive account, but it is an effort to think about different examples ranging from like Richard Rodriguez to Susana Martinez to George W. Bush to try to think about different moments and different ways that people get pulled into conservative logics in the hope that if we understand it, maybe we can get them out of it.
When does it come out?
I am turning in the manuscript at the end of this semester. I am
Oh, time. You've got a little time.
my joke
Okay.
has been that I'm at the end of like I've never given birth, but it feels like the contractions are coming very quickly at this point. It's very wonderful and painful, and I'm excited to see what happens, but I want it to be over.